Hey guys, this is Jonathan Wilson with ngaexperience.com. In today's video, what I thought I would do would be to talk about a notion that we have in Nihon Goshin Aikido that I think is very important and would be very important to anyone that found themselves in a martial situation. And that would be to make your everyday stance your fighting stance. In many styles of Aikido, you're always kind of starting in a stance. Like you and your partner are both in Ihami, or you and your partner are both in Gaiku Hami. In Nihon Goshin Aikido, at the beginning of the attack, no one is in anything. So you're just in a Shizentai stance, or what we would call a natural stance, however that may be. And when you think about that posture, it's just the posture that you would find yourself in if you were just standing there. And when you think about it, and that's what an attacker is looking for. An attacker is not looking to get in a fight as much as they're looking for a victim. And so, you know, the fellow that's sitting here in a straight up boxing stance is not going to be someone that a mugger on the street corner is going to be looking to take advantage of. They're going to be looking for someone that isn't expecting an attack to be coming. And so fighting out of a natural stance is just, oh, you know, here I am, and now let's block, do technique, you know, whatever. And so making your everyday stance your fighting stance makes you martial at all points on the spectrum. So if you are in a fighting stance, you can fight. If you're not in a fighting stance, you can still defend yourself. And so with that in mind, there are some times that the attack is a little bit more predictable than others. In other words, you're not just standing there and then somebody comes up and you know, swings at you, or the New York City subway guy that was running around with an axe about this long and just, you know, kind of chopping people up, or trying to chop people up. You know, not something like that, but something that is a little bit more calculated. So let me present a scenario to you to show you kind of what I'm talking about. So consider this. It's Friday afternoon. You're driving down the interstate. It's a lot of traffic. And the guy in front of you slams on the brakes. You slam on the brakes too, but not in time, and you run into the back of it. And you cause an accident. And so the car's come to a stop. You're concerned for his safety. You get out of your car, you know, to check on him. He gets out of his car, and he comes running at you like, what are you doing? And he's kind of continuing his approach to you, and now this is not so much a spontaneous attack in the sense that you're not just standing there and all of a sudden it's coming. You can see it coming. It's getting closer and closer and closer, and the attacking posture is there the whole time. And so if we were boxers, you would take a, you know, kind of a boxing stance. But we're not boxers. We're people who study Aikido, and so the idea is, you know, we don't want it. This is encouraging a fight. Oh, you want to go? Come on. You know, and the chin drops and the hands come up, and then you're just waiting. And at that point, it's his decision. But you have decided that you were going to fight. Remember, Aikido is, we're waiting on him to attack before we do anything. And so one of the things that we teach students in scenarios like that is just to get their hands up in kind of a calming way. Listen, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you, and kind of go from there. And you can see that there's actually not much difference between, you know, a traditional boxing or fighting stance and this. But the impact on the situation is completely different. This is completely martial. This is, you know, calm down, I'm sorry, let's exchange information, insurance information, are you okay? You know, all that stuff. Having said that, this isn't the only option, and that's what I wanted to spend our time talking about today, because a lot of times your hands might not come up like this voluntarily. You might be doing something else. And so I want to talk about two other kind of postures that we could consider in a situation like this. The first one has been talked about numerous times on the internet that I've seen, and it's called the thinking man's fighting stance, or the thoughtful man's fighting stance. And basically, whichever foot is forward, you take that hand. So if you have your right foot forward, you take the right hand and then you ball it into a fist and you put it where your chin is, okay? And then you take the left hand, or the other hand, and you make a fist out of that, and then you bring it right in underneath here, and then kind of just settle in. Now, what it looks like is that, the thoughtful man. And see how you're gripping your bicep here? But that's not what you're doing. This is a fist here, and now if an attack comes, you can block here, cover, cross block low, whatever in terms of strike. I mean, you can strike, combination, everything kind of sets up. And then you also have opportunity for Aikido. If he strikes, you can do Aikido technique. But this is the thoughtful man. Now, to me, in the scenario that we painted with the traffic situation, this may be a little standoffish. But I could see in other situations where this might be completely appropriate. Okay? And so the thoughtful man. Things to remember again, the foot that is forward and the hand that is forward, or the hand that goes underneath your chin, sorry, easy for me to say. The hand that is underneath your chin is identical to the foot that is forward. And then the other hand kind of comes in underneath. And you can see how close it is to a fighting stance. And again, all of your Aikido, all of your strikes, all of your blocks are available from this stance without looking like you're getting ready to get into a fight, okay? Or that you're even really thinking about defending yourself. Okay, that's the thoughtful man. Now, as I was thinking about a thoughtful man, I came up with another one that I've actually seen people do in response to that car accident. And that is kind of this look. When someone gets hurt, oh my gosh, are you okay? And they will bring their hands up to their face. And this is what you might be doing anyway. You get out of the car, you're running up to the car, you're very concerned for them because you put them in a dangerous situation. The guy gets out, he's upset, you're like, oh man, are you all right? He's like, all right. And you're like, dude, I'm so sorry, are you okay? And so the hands are up, but it's in a position of like you're extending empathy. You're wanting to help. You are legitimately and honestly sorry about their condition, but it's still a fighting stance. See that? In fact, it's a lot closer to a fighting stance than this would be. And you're expressing empathy at the same time. So I really like this one. And so, you reset the thing. Just to reset the scenario, you hit the guy in the back. He gets out of his car, you get out of his car, he comes running up to you, like, dude, man, I'm so sorry, are you okay? He throws a punch, block. He throws one straight down the middle, block. You do Aikido technique, whatever, but you can do it all from here. And this is one of the neat things about our system is we integrate making your everyday stance your fighting stance naturally. We're kind of in a squared off stance when we start training, and we just train. And so, having said that though, there are things that I think we can think about doing with our hands that in addition to this, that could help us. Or we could wind up in a scenario like this, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, I can defend myself from here, I can defend myself from here. Just kind of take it that way. All right, well, that's stuff to think about. Appreciate you taking time to visit the virtual dojo. Again, we can't work on our wheel throws or any of our other Aikido techniques. This is more of an exercise of the mind, so we just throw things out there, tools to put in your toolbox or tools to throw out. With the trash, I don't know. We're not saying it this way is better. It's just, this is something you might think about. So this is Jonathan Wilson with ngaexperience.com. Hope to see you on the mat. And